Pit balls in the pit.
Biscuits in pit.
Alright, gentlemen, backup check in about 30 seconds.
Ghost 1, checking on backup 1.
Ghost 1-2.
Ghost 1-3.
Ghost 1, all herd cleared to start up, and I'll see you on up front Victor 15 in about 5 minutes. Ghost 1, checking on Victor 1-5.
Ghost 1-2.
3.
Try it on Victor for me, please. 2.
2.
Alright, Ghost 1, all heard, continue your start and standby words on weather. Alright, weather here at Guntown today, we have information Bravo. We've got runway 36 for a visual departure, wind 060, averaging 4 knots, gusting 6. We've got 10 kilometres of visibility with no cloud, temperature is 19 degrees, and the pressure setting 1017.
Sharp, how do you clear an IFF fall again?
Okay, so we'll just make sure that it is a fault and it's not a gremlin that's knocking around in the game. So just take a quick look at your IFF panel, make sure it's set to norm.
Confirmed.
Alright, and just make sure you've loaded your DTC. Well, you must have done, sure, on this freak.
Yep.
Okie dokie, in which case the odds are on that it is not the fault with your IFF. There is a bug knocking around the game recently. Miko found it the other day, so suggestion would be disregard, pay him no mind.
Roger.
The normal way to clear the faults once you've got a good start-up is under your left-hand MFD, if you've got your MFD on FCR, the left side, the middle button at the bottom should read test. That test will throw up a load of tests that have either not been done or have been failed by the system. They're not threatening your aircraft because it come up on the PFL. But what you can do is you can press OSD 3 to clear that and see if IFF is there, and if it clears it, I don't think it will.
Nah, it's still there.
Yeah, I thought it would be. Just don't pay any attention to it, be my recommendation.
Roger that.
Ghost 1, call when ready to taxi, while he's ready.
2.
Speed ready.
Roger that. Okay, so we've got a little bit of time to spare. I'm not going to Rolex us forward. We're going to take the opportunity to do a little bit of learning. Ghost 1, I'd like us to do an alpha check, please. Alpha check to steer point 3. One has 44 miles, as close as damn it, 345.
Two 44 miles, 350.
45 miles.
45.
Stomped on 2, say again.
44 miles, 345.
And 3.
3, same, steer point 3, 45 miles, 343.
Roger that. Okay, and we're going to do another alpha check, this time to steer point 5. One has 32 miles and heading is 030.
Two has 40 miles, heading almost north. Confirm steer point 5.
Confirm.
3 has same, steer 0.5, 40 miles, bearing 005.
Excellent, you didn't fall into my Heffalump trap, so that was me deliberately calling the wrong figures to make sure everyone's paying attention and doing the right thing. Excellent. One to three, be advised, our desired takeoff time is 0130. If you can get your Rolex to plus 30 so that yours reads 013030.
Great.
And one thing I didn't brief for yourself too, one of the things to bear in mind with the low level stuff is whereas at high level we're very cognizant of not over-G'ing the aircraft not because we want to over-G it, but because we bleed all our airspeed off and we can't pick it back and then we fall behind the carrot and it all goes wrong. Low altitude, within G tolerances, i.e. 5.5 G, you can just whip it around the corner. So on that basis, you only need to lead the turn by about a mile, not even a mile. So just bear that in mind when you're thinking about the rollout points for this one. You're going to be a hell of a lot closer to the steer point and you're going to be whipping it around the corner fairly quick. The reason why is because, of course, we're at low altitude. We can regain that speed very quickly, whereas you can't at high altitude. So that's the logic there. So just bear that one in mind as we're going along.
How is the stores config modelled in BMS and DCS? You can, even with Cat 3, you can still pull 9G. How does it work in BMS?
So there's two things that are modelled in BMS. I would argue that the config Cat 1, Cat 3 is modelled accurately. It's not a true fly-by-wire in as much as it will physically prevent you from going over certain Gs. It won't. You can dogfight in Cat 3 if you really need to. Really, the Cat 1, Cat 3 is more about the rate of acceleration in terms of G acceleration that it will allow you to go through. So it will numb the amount of pull you can do, but ultimately it won't prevent you from pulling 9G. So if you want to fold your wingtips over your head, it won't stop you ultimately. It might just slow you down a little bit and kind of like well, hey knobhead, are you sure? They'll go, alright, fair enough. So I think that's probably about the same as DCS in that regard. What is very different in BMS that is not modelled on any aircraft in DCS is the notion of hung stores. Now, there are several ways you can hang a store. The first one is just by half pressing the release pickle button. When you've got a weapon selected, it initiates the contact to release the weapon, but you terminate it before it actually comes off the rail. For air-to-ground stores in particular, that can cause a hung store. And if you're on a turn, because the first bomb to come off is the bottom bomb, that will then prevent you from dropping any more bombs off the turn. Whereas if you do that on the second bomb on a turn, the first one will come off, the second one will hang, and you can normally get away with dropping the third one. But the other way you can hang a store in this is through overging, which is something that is absolutely not modelled in DCS. You've got to be aware of your G limits. If you're flying an air-to-ground source, you can very easily over-G your stores. Some weapons are more susceptible to it than others. I've found that JDAM and Maverick tend to be the most susceptible to over-G, and therefore the most likely to fail. I don't know whether that's consistent with reality or not, but it's just my experience of the game that they tend to be the most bitchy about it.
Yeah, the other day I was having a go and it was, I think it was an Amram actually.
Yeah, stop you mate, sorry. Just noticed the time, we're going to have to get moving, we'll have a chat about it in flight. Stand by, just going to report the number 4.
Ghost 1, roger.
Guns on ground, Ghost 1, request
Ghost
taxi
1,
to
roger.
short runway 36 for frag departure.
Good morning, Ghost 1. You are number 1, departure taxi Alpha, and hold short runway 36.
Taxi Alpha and hold short runway 36 for Ghost 1. Ghost 1 has information Bravo. Ghost 1, taxi in sequence, 1 taxi. Chops and pins, obviously. Yeah, sorry about that. 8 Voyager's got to get us moving, so I just saw the time when we want to take off on Karen.
No worries, 2 taxi.
Three taxi.
Okay, so formation for departure will be 3 in the slot. Disregard, we'll do arrowhead. And I'll put you on the, actually no, we won't do arrowhead, disregard, we've got to do a formation departure. Yeah, we'll put 3 in the slot.
You ain't gonna believe this. Rudders are out.
Say again?
Rudders are out.
Do you want to try plugging them in and putting them back in? See if that does anything?
Stand by. That's a bit weird. For some reason, my refueling flap was open.
Must have been a misclick.
Yeah.
Alright gents, we do have just about enough time to get ourselves up and running, but we're going to have to do a very quick EOR check. Ghost 1 EOR check, 1 in balls 178, 124 yardstick is sweet, dolly is sweet.
2 same.
3 same.
Alright, I'm just going to ignore the tower just for now, just to get us moving. Gunsan, ground, Ghost 1, taxiing to hold short runway 36 for departure.
Ghost 1-1, contact tower for takeoff. Switch to 2923.
Gunsan Tower, Ghost 1, request entry to the active runway 36 for departure.
Ghost 1, Kunsan Tower, wing 060 at 2 knots, runway 36, you are cleared for takeoff.
So 2, don't forget your left wing tip just touching your side of the centre line. 3, we're not going to wait around for you because we've got to meet the carrot.
3.
Formation or delay takeoff.
Formation for 1 and 2, delay 30 seconds per carrot for 3. Ghost 1, run them up. Brakes, release.
Ghost 1-1, contact departure.
Contact departure for Ghost 1. 2, go route right.
2.
3 airborne visual.
Altitude. Altitude.
Ghost 1, bonus time, departure. Depart heading 335. Resume on navigation.
So don't stay ahead 3.
Got it.
Better to be slightly behind in this configuration. I'm going to be more likely to leave you alone if you're slightly behind than if you're ahead. Now, one thing you've not had the pleasure of flying over the water and the coastline in BMS 8-ball is beware of tidal waves.
Did you just say tidal waves?
I did. There's some of the terrain tiles, because of the way it's formed, you get essentially what would be ground tiles with little mountains on them, but they're actually sea tiles. Now, you can't see them very easily, particularly at night, so you're just going to be on the watch for quite literally the ocean coming up to meet you.
I have seen it, but it seems to go up the coast.
Yeah, it does that. And there's a couple of mountain tiles in this where the water is climbing up the mountain.
Yeah.
Alright, so now look, let's get you back into position, still way ahead. Remember, carrot is only an indicator, you do the rest visually. Because yours and my carrots will always be ever so slightly separate. Gunsan departure, Ghost 1 is pushing north of Ulman 1, switching to AWACS. Ghost 1, push tactical. Ghost 1, check in on tactical.
Ghost 1 2.
Ghost 1 3.
Sentry 1, Ghost 1, request picture.
Ghost 1-1, Sentry 1, picture clear.
Ghost 1, copy, picture clear. Yeah, that's much better too. So that line that you're on there is perfect. You can, if you want, be slightly further back from that. You've got probably a plane's length further forward, but no more, and that puts you bang on where you are. But don't go ahead of that line. Better to be slightly behind it on these low altitude runs.
Copy.
Right, first turn's coming up, 4 miles to run. And also, because it's a 45, do not lean in. At these distances, you do not need to lean in to the 45s. 2. started trying to get in closer. You did a really nice rollout, and then I think you sort of lost faith in yourself and started coming in towards me.
That's the wrong foot, steer 0.5 set.
Fair enough. It's really good to run the steer point on automatic in this because we're pretty much going right over them.
Yeah, that's what I've got. I can manually set it anyway. As soon as I see you move, then I set it manually.
So remember, the distance in this is absolutely your decision. You can be in tight or you can be out. If you can comfortably see me at 1 mile, consistently and easily, and you can acquire me quickly, by all means, be out at 1 mile. But what we've found is that about half a mile to 0.3 in good weather is where people tend to run this, just because it can be quite hard to see people against the terrain class sometimes.
Yeah, it's the terrain. It's alright just now, but once you're getting amongst the terrain, it's just picking you up visually.
Yeah, so it's at your discretion. The range is ultimately your discretion as the wingman.
Altitude. Altitude.
So keep an eye on that carrot, always fly the carrot. No, we're ripping along the ground, but try not to over-accelerate the aircraft. So one thing you may read in some tactical doctrine manuals is that the wingman should never fly lower than the flight lead, and there's probably very good reason for that in reality, but in the simulator the consequences of getting it wrong are much less severe, so if you want to scrape the daisies, again, that's your decision as a wingman.
Altitude. 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 Altitude.
Three, confirm you've got a 30-second offset.
3 has a 30-second offset on 0.9. You want me on all of them?
Pilot's choice. If you're doing it for the video, by all means fly how you're flying, just make sure that you don't get in the way of two.
Altitude. Altitude.
Yeah, I'm looking out. Yes, I am doing it for a video as well. It just looks really good.
Roger that. Feel free to fly on me, fly as you like.
Altitude. Altitude. Altitude.
Or not even a video, I'm streaming this as usual.
Roger. I'm just old. It's all videos to me.
Altitude. Altitude.
You get your own excuses.
Altitude. 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 Altitude.
That's it, Tuki. Bring it forward.
Altitude. 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 Altitude.
Watch your position there, Tuki. If you're struggling to see me, fly closer.
Altitude. 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 Altitude.
And don't forget, if you do lose sight, this is a good opportunity to use blind. Obviously, if you've lost me temporarily, but you think you know where I'm going to pop up, and you don't think there's a flight safety issue, no need to call it. But the moment you start wondering, well, hang on a minute, he's been disappeared for far too long, and while I'm not in a flight safety position, I do need to figure out where he is, that's when you do your blind call.
Yeah, I was okay. I lost you just for about 4 or 5 seconds there, but I had an idea where you were. You popped up eventually.
Roger.
Altitude. 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 Altitude.
Still ahead of me there, 2 turns, coming up, 5 miles to run.
Altitude. Altitude.
I was passing below.
Altitude. Altitude.
Where's your carrot to?
Altitude.
Slow down a little bit.
Altitude.
So when we're flying to carrot, ram it forward into mill power. When you go around these corners, you don't have to. The odds are on that your entry speed, if you're on carrot, will be the same airspeed you need to be out, give or take, when you come out. Better to be a little bit behind and then add the power than a little bit ahead and come off the power, I found.
Yeah, every time I hit the mill, I seem to end up just up in front of me.
Roger. Alright, 26 miles to run. Let's get your position sorted. 2.
Altitude. 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 Altitude.
Keep coming back to. Where I am now is about where I'd expect you to be on me. Back end of that window, of course, but it just shows just how role reversed we are at the moment.
Yeah, it's kind of in between a wedge and a spread.
Yeah, I mean, if we were running this tactically, you would be in wedge and you'd be flying behind me.
Altitude.
For this one, you want to be closer to a route formation, so...
Altitude. Altitude.
Don't forget, spread gives you 10 degrees behind as well, so you've got room, but you're consistently ahead of me.
Yeah.
Basically, at no point should you be able to look to the side and see the front of my aircraft. You should always be looking at essentially the back end of my wing.
Altitude. Altitude.
Don't forget, carrot only gets you some way there. The rest of it you must do visually.
Altitude. 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 Altitude.
And if you're struggling, do feel free to come closer. It is your choice.
Altitude. Altitude.
Not too bad at half a mile, it just depends what's in your background.
Altitude. Altitude.
Come on, Sue, get behind me.
I am behind you.
Altitude.
3, give me a wing wobble.
Altitude.
Wobbling.
3, just want to double check something here. 3, come around to my right side, would you?
Right.
Altitude. 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 Altitude.
Alright, that's better. My bad for speed, just resolving.
Altitude. Altitude. Altitude.
Right, 3, can you drop back to 1
Altitude.
mile?
Yeah, get my brakes out.
One passing below.
Altitude. Altitude.
Three, can you make sure you're 1 mile behind the flight?
Yeah, 3's dragging.
2, push it up.
Altitude. 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 Altitude.
One, two, blind.
You're screaming past me, you just come past me. Slam your boards out, look for the carrot, and below you on your left wing, about your 7 o'clock deep.
Visual.
Altitude. Altitude.
I think you got confused with 3 there and you were following 3, not me.
Altitude. Altitude.
I was trying to interpret the HSD because you were blind.
Altitude. Altitude.
I don't think he was following me. I was never in front of him.
No, I had the right guy, I just lost him.
Altitude.
Careless.
Altitude. Altitude. Altitude.
Two shackle. One's below.
Altitude. 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 Pull up. Pull up. Altitude. Altitude.
Alright, so we've gone through the IP point and we're on the attack speed, so the next thing you should be seeing is the target, so make sure you're in a good position.
Altitude. 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 Altitude.
one last quick reference onto the target as we come over this hill. Don't forget to come off the target with countermeasures. .245, right, go.
Altitude. Altitude.
Come left 45.
Altitude.
Tally target,
Altitude.
left side. Suit your target's right side.
Altitude.
Visual.
Altitude. 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 Chaff, flare. Chaff, flare.
One's off.
Altitude. Altitude. Chaff, flare. Chaff, flare. Chaff, flare.
Breeze off.
Chaff, flare. Chaff, flare. Chaff, flare. Altitude. Altitude. Chaff, flare.
And 2, don't forget
Altitude.
your carrot. It's going to get you to
Altitude.
slow down quite a lot. The full extraction
Chaff,
speed on
flare.
this one.
Altitude. Altitude.
We'll be looking for me there too. Yep. Visual.
Altitude. 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 Altitude.
Two safe fuel.
5.9.
Altitude. Altitude.
One did you receive?
Yep. Don't worry, if I've not heard you, I'll chase you.
Altitude. Altitude.
Right, here's a bit of fun too. What we're going to do, I'm going to call gate. We're going to climb at 55 to 60 degrees. Follow me in the climb. We'll be at gate. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a 45 degree vertical roll through onto the next steer point. You ready? 2. Gate, gate, go.
Altitude. Altitude.
Pull up. Okay, so when I say go, your next manoeuvre is going to be a roll towards canopy, towards the steer point, and then pull down in towards it. You ready? 2, go. Not bad. Feel free to be a bit harder with the rollout, but otherwise all good. Right, 1 is reference steer point 11 and is at 22,000 feet. Ghost 1, form loose, echelon left.
2, recover. Did you over G there too?
Might have. Don't think so.
Got that on video.
No lies then.
Alright, Ghost 1, I have what I believe is the tanker Angels 2-2. Bra is approximately 30 to 40 degrees off our left nose at 40 miles.
2-6.
Alright, plan for the refuel is each aircraft to refuel to receive, to top their tanks to 9,000 pounds. So whatever you need to get to 9,000. Alright, Ghost 1, we're going to be coming off the flight path once we hit steer 12 towards the tanker. Alright, Jen's going to come off the flight path now. We're going to accelerate to catch the tanker a little bit quicker. So, to that end, Ghost 1, Buster, Buster, go. Ghost 1, Buster, Buster, go. 2.
3.
Ah, well that's not right, the tank is turning. Ghost 1, pre-fueling checks. Ghost 1, pre-fueling checks.
Bingo. Bingo.
3. Three's bingo.
Copy, bingo. And Ghost 1, check, or rather checking left, reference the tanker, coming left now. And also coming off the airspeed just a little bit. Looking for 360. Texaco 1, Ghost 1 is 3 Foxtrot 16s looking for some fuel.
Not on this frequency.
Yeah, that's a really good shout. Ghost 1, push uniform 13. I know, we could look for the fuel on that frequency, I'll just be there quite a while.
You were just making sure we were paying attention, right?
Absolutely, you guys are good. Texaco 1, oh hello, where you go fella? Sorry, just decided to crack out a hard turn there. Texaco 1, Ghost 1, 3 Foxtrot 16s looking for some fuel.
Ghost 1-1, Texaco 1-1, you are number 1 to refuel. Ghost 1-1, Texaco 1-1, clear to pre-contact position.
Ghost 1-1 to pre-contact position. Ghost 1-1, request 3,500.
Ghost 1-1, Texaco 1-1, cleared to contact position.
Ghost 1-1, cleared to contact.
Contact.
Contact, good play. Hey Fiscus,
Yo.
just a little bit easier than that time when it was all dark and horrible.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, I can, well, for one I can see the tank.
Yeah, I watched that one. That looked horrible.
That's because it was.
1,000.
Ghost 1-1, 3,000, 1,000 to go.
3,000. Ghost 1-1, Texaco 1-1, heads up, tanker is entering turn.
Ghost 1-1, disconnected.
Disconnect.
Moving the tanker to UTIC.
Ghost 1-2, Texaco 1-1, clear to pre-contact position. Roger.
Ghost 1-2, pre-contact.
Ghost 1-2, Texaco 1-1. Cleared to contact position. Ghost 1-2, stabilize. Ghost 1-2, stabilize. Contact. $1,000. $3,000. $4,000. $5,000. $6,000. Disconnect.
Ghost 1-2, top.
So don't forget to come behind and underneath me at the same time.
Ghost 1-3,
Move off to
Mexico,
the right hand
1-1, clear
side.
to
Once
pre-contact
you've got
position.
the time, obviously you Yankee
Roger.
3 the tanker, that's fine. Get yourself any post-fueling checks done while you've got some space, and then rejoin.
Clear pre-contact position, Ghost 1-3.
Ghost 1-3, Mexico, 1-1, cleared the contact position.
Clear contact position, Ghost 1-3.
Ghost 1-3, stabilized. Contact.
Contact, good flow, Ghost 1-3.
One 1,000. Two 2,000. Three 3,000. Ghost 1-3, Mexico, 1-1. Heads up, tanker is entering turn. Four 4,000.
Thousand to go, Ghost 1-3.
5,000.
3, just while she's entering the turn, come off the tanker, call when you're off. We're going to roll out on whatever heading you call, and then once we've levelled out, then Yankee 3 the tanker, would you?
Three. Three, disconnecting.
6,000.
310.
Disconnect.
Once rolled out, reference heading 310. Alright, Yankee 3 whenever you need, Viscus.
Ghost 1-3, done refilling.
Ghost 1, post-fueling checks. Ghost 1, post-fueling checks, go.
2, keep pushing.
3, 9.1.
Good for the fuel. I'll have to double check the SOPs because you're making me doubt myself now, but I think all I need is a 2, 3 because the post-fueling check's just a sort of a secondary check just to make sure everyone's got their fuel doors shut and whatnot. You got me doubting myself now. capable, curse you.
Remember, flight needs to blame.
Well, this is true, you see. If I've taught you one useful thing, it's that. I'm going to start bringing us round to steer point 13. Tesco 1, Ghost 1, thanks to the fuel, switching frequencies. Ghost 1, push tactical. And one's pushing up to 360 knots. Descending now, Angels 20. Alright gentlemen, so intentions now is to progress into MOA 19 and 20 to conduct BFM training for 2. 3, it's your decision how you want to play this. So long as you stay behind 2, you can do whatever you like, or you can just RTB, or you can fly off and do your own thing from here. It's entirely pilot's choice.
You're going to do one-on-ones?
We're going to do the extended trail setup. So this is one of those setups I was telling you that we'd go through one day. We've not done it yet, but basically it's a set of manoeuvres to initiate 1v1 and to help new pilots learn all the different sight pictures and manoeuvres and all that kind of thing. Strong recommendation, if you've not seen it done before, would be to direct to Gunsan land and then just watch as an external.
Yeah, that attack view, but I will, what I will do is I'll go to Wolf and fly an IFR approach another one.
Roger. Alright, 3, you're clear to strip. 2.
3 strip.
Chaff, flare.
2, go spread right 1 mile. 2. Yeah, we'll make use of MOA 19 and 20 for this, give us a little bit more room to fly around. 2. So 2, do you see the city just on our side of the river, probably around your 1-2 o'clock-ish?
3 pushing Gunsan approach.
On the peninsula?
Just before the peninsula.
Roger.
So if you look at that city, do you see there's that river to the left of it?
Roger.
And then moving more towards the peninsula, can
Gunsan
you see there's a lake?
approach. Ghost 1-3, Single Viper.
Roger. So So what you're looking at there
Inbound,
is Gunsong, is just next door to the lake.
Runway 36.
Now if you look to your
Ghost
extreme,
13
well it's not going to be quite your extreme right, it's probably about your 2-3 o'clock, you'll see that there's a bridge crossing the river, which is what we use as the visual identification point for one of the turns on the outbound leg.
Good morning.
You can see that town's got sort of a mirror on the other side of the river.
QH1018.
To the north now.
Yeah, copy of the bridge. You can see the bridge, okay.
Okay, so if you follow the bridge, you'll see there's then 2 towns, one smaller one to the north side of the river, and then one larger one that road leads into.
Got the one on the north side, the south side one is no fuselage.
Yeah, it's the north side one that's important. Now if you look at that north side one, as we're looking at it, the far side, you see there, if you zoom right in on the road, you see there's a road junction that does cast a rather unfortunate shape from this perspective.
Gunson approach, Ghost 13 at Tulsi. Correction, Viper.
Sort of a big road junction with 2 circles and one long strip leading out of it.
Actually, yeah, first time. Right, Tulsi.
Might have the wrong place.
Alright, doesn't matter. I can show you another day. I was just trying to show you some of the visual reference points in and out of Gunson. It's no drama. Alright, so I'm going to steer myself reference heading 230. If you want to rejoin in spread right 1 mile, we can get set up for this.
Copy, 230 1 mile.
Give me a minute while I play with my F-tit, see what speeds are going to work for us. Yeah, I think we can use 900 and 950, so I'll be at 900, you'll be at 950.
I'm on 950.
Not now, you don't need to be, obviously you've got to rejoin, but when we go through the extended trail of the Purge, that's the F-tit you'll set.
Roger.
Alright, so we'll do a quick brief before we go into it. So, same as last time, perch setup, it'll be offensive for 2 initially, but we'll go into the extended trail from there. So the perch setup, it's a 90 left, you call in, when you roll in, you can see my, when you've got a pure pursuit position behind me. Once you're in pure pursuit, that in call, use your TACAN gauge and then call every decimal from 1 mile down to 0.3 or 0.4. Once you're at 0.3 or 0.4, call in position, and at that point we'll go through the extended trail exercise. So that will be me manoeuvring my aircraft at an F-tit of 900. I'll do some turns to the right and some gentle turns to the left, maybe a couple of dives and climbs, maybe even the odd loop. Your objective is to stay at an F-tit of 950 without getting closer than about, well, certainly not overtaking me, but you don't want to be much closer than 0.1 or 0.2, and you want to stay in that 0.2 to 0.4 window by using a combination of high and low yo-yos. All good?
For perch setup, confirm 90 degree turn.
It's a 45 to 90 degree turn. It doesn't have to be precise.
Two.
Basically, you're going to turn the aircraft until you get yourself into a pure pursuit position on me. If that's a 90, then that's 90. If it's 10, then it's 10. It doesn't matter as long as you're in pure pursuit.
Two.
Alright, let's get your spacings and let's get going.
Kunsan approach Ghost 1-3 at Julep.
Alright then. Ghost 1, next setup will be extended trail offensive for 2. Call ready.
Two's ready.
Go.
Two's in.
Kunsan approach Ghost 1-3 at Pepper.
4,000.
Ghost was
3,000,
contact
please,
tower for landing.
Alright, here we go.
29230.
Switch 29230, Ghost 1-3. Kunsan Tower, Ghost 1-3 at Viper.
Don't forget, hold your FTIT at 950 and after that, do not touch your
Ghost
thrust. The idea
1-3,
is to use
Kunsan Tower.
your
Continue
stick
inbound
to
4,
control your
runway
position.
36, report on final.
The 950 almost right on mill.
Perfect.
Continue inbound, runway 36, report on final, Ghost 1-3. Kunsan Tower, Ghost 1-3, final to land. Gear down.
Ghost 1-3, Kunsan Tower. Continue inbound 4, runway 36.
Continue inbound, runway 36, Ghost 1-3.
Ghost 1-3, Kunsan Tower. Wing 060 at 2 knots. Runway 36, cleared for landing. Check gear down.
Cleared for landing, runway inside, Ghost 1-3.
shoot me down yet?
No.
Sorry.
Ghost 1-3, contact log. Switch to 73525.
Contact ground 27. Contact ground 273.52. Ghost 31. Ghost 13.
Trouble is, you've done the barrel roll and now you've lost a little bit of position.
One, 3 when able.
3 go for 1 with broken but readable.
1-3 is down, taxiing to wolf backflows.
Roger, understood. Alright then, 2, knock it off. We're going to roll out reference 180, we're going to climb to 10,000 feet.
It's on ground, Ghost 1-3 at the Echo EOR. Request taxi to wolf backflows.
Buster, go.
2.
Ghost 1-3, taxi back to the ramp. Echo, Papa, Charlie, 04.
Taxi back to the ramp via Echo, Papa, Charlie, Ghost 1-3.
Let's see if we can't get ourselves up to maybe 20,000 for the start on this one. 2, go spread left or right, pilot's choice, 1 mile. 2. Alright, next will be extended trail offensive for 1. We're going to just keep going until we get to 20,000 feet, then we'll get our speed to 360, then we'll get ready to go. 2. So, the general rule of thumb is to put yourself in FTIP 900, and then you're not allowed to deliberately reverse your turn in such a way as to try and shake me off. Try to keep your G somewhere in the 3 to 4G window, and then just do gentle turns, left, right, rolls, Cubans, all that kind of stuff. Just give me something to go after, as it were. 2.
May I brakes and be nasty?
No. Alright, one's at 360. If you could try your best to make yourself look like a Chinese weather balloon, please.
Do you really want a balloon in the side of your copter?
Not really. Do you know what I'm waiting for someone to do the meme on?
What?
You remember that scene in Blackadder? Oh, those straw-filled dummies will be really easy to outmaneuver in a combat situation. I'm just waiting for someone to parody that, but for the balloon.
I got you, fam.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Alright then, so as I said, next will be extended trail offensive for 1, call when ready.
Two's ready.
Go. One in. .9. Watch your climb there too. 0.8.
What was the F-tip for me again?
900. 0.6. .5. Confirm your F-tip there, 1 would you? For 2.
Bang on 900.
Roger. 0.3, fine.
Much better. And rejoin route right. There's one push uniform.
Listening, mate.
Okay, make your heading 360 and then just keep coming back to nice and safe and let you visual. 14 pounds now. So there's a classic example of what we are looking for. You see that big bay over on about 1-2 o'clock-ish?
Yep.
Look at the terrain on the north side hills. Do you see how the water's climbing up them?
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing to be on the lookout for when you're traversing low altitude. It does come and bite you. I've seen people seasick because of it.
I was flying earlier on today and I was flying at low level and I seen that and I thought, interesting. But it's been like that for a while.
Oh, it's never changed. I wonder whether when they do the graphics update and the tiles update, whether they'll fix that kind of thing. It all depends on the tile set they take.
That's actually something I was wondering, because when I played, when I done it was different high-res tile sets. Roger. Ouch! You're on 360?
Yep. I came off the thrust and I was trying to get to the right and we were sort of coming in towards each other, but when you got ahead of me I went back to 360. Right, so the one to look out for on this approach is we're now heading towards this peninsula just to our 12 o'clock now. What you'll see when it resolves, we'll need to be a little bit closer, I can see it because I know what I'm looking for, but it's barely resolved, is there's a big seawall that runs from the north side in a box covering the, what is I assume, Gunsar Bay. What we do for the Sepia 1 approach is we look for the point the wall meets the land on the southern part of the bay, and that's our entry point for the Sepia 3. Then if you look really carefully, you can see just in the middle of the bay there are two islands. We're looking for the larger of the two islands to the left, closer to the middle of the bay. That's what we call, funnily enough, island. And what you want to do is the west side of Ireland is your rollout point. If you're heading north and rolling out on that side of Ireland, you should be roughly level with Gunsar's runway. There's a good visual cue onto the runway.
So those two islands at my 11 o'clock?
Yeah, that's about right. It's the left of the two. see that sea wall now from your sort of 10, 11 o'clock through to your nose.
Yep.
So that's what we use as the entry point. So we look to try and intercept that roughly where it needs to land. You don't have to be bang on, it's just a BRF approach, doesn't have to be precise. So we always enter the visual approaches at 5,000 when we're coming back in again, and then we descend once we're over top the various queues. So you can see islands now, pretty much on 11 o'clock.
Roger.
towards cold side right. Don't forget to call your cold side too.
Cold side now.
Don't forget, you want to get over to that cold side as soon as you possibly can in case someone behind you is having a bad day.
My nose was still in the air.
Yeah, that's fine. You can move over to the cold side while you're air braking. Yeah, you don't need to be three-wheel touchdown to move over to the cold side. You can do it on the rudders while you've got the nose up. You're pretty much obliged to, otherwise you're hogging that centre line for too long otherwise. Don't forget to call clear of active.
Ghost 1-2, clear active from the
Ghost 1, push uniform 2. Alright, Fiscus, you got us on Victor 15.
Affirm.
Roger that, okay. Ghost 1 cleared to shut down and exit the sim when ready.